All right. I believe we are live. Good evening, everyone. My name is Cindy. For those of you that have not been joining me in the past, I've been doing these Monday night osteoporosis talks. And last week I started talking about some myth busters, and I'm going to continue that tonight with 4 more. So let's get started. So the fifth one, again, there was 4 last week. So the fifth myth buster is weight-bearing exercises will prevent as well as reverse osteoporosis. This is true as long as it's truly weight-bearing. Now, I did a whole series, I think it was 3 parts, on weight-bearing exercises and how to do that. So if you haven't seen those videos, you might want to take a look at them. But I'll give you a little synopsis tonight here. So when lifting weights, there's 2 ways you can do weight-bearing exercises. There's powerlifting and there's bodybuilding or building muscle. So I want to take a closer look at each of these. Powerlifting. So let's define powerlifting. Powerlifting means that the weight being lifted is at an amount that only allows you to lift between 2 and 7 reps. If you can do more than 7 reps, then the weight is not high enough. With osteoporosis, this amount of weight bearing can be too much and could cause a bone to fracture. So we don't want to do too much weight. Bodybuilding. What's the definition of that? Bodybuilding is when the weight being lifted is at an amount that only allows you to lift between 8 and 12 reps. If you can do more than 12 reps, then the weight is not high enough. So there's this sweet spot between 8 and 12. Sometimes we say up to 15. But if you can do more than 8, but less than 15, you're in what we call the sweet spot. And for weight-bearing exercises, this is what you want. If you're going to lift weights, let's say you've got dumbbells and you're going to lift the weights up over your head and back down. If you can do it 6 times and on the 7th time you're like, you can't do it anymore, it's too much weight. So you want to back off the weight. But if you're doing like little 2-pound weights and you're up to 20 reps, then it's not enough. So you want to be in that 8 to 12 or 8 to 15 rep category. If you can do more than 15 reps, it's what we call circuit training. And there's a lot, especially women, that do circuit training. This is when you're lifting more than 12. I would say you could go up to 15, but if you can do more than 15 for sure reps with each exercise and moving from machine to machine or exercise to exercise, then you're circuit training. Circuit training it's super, super good for getting a nice lean body, but it actually is really not weight bearing. It's not enough weight to really help with osteoporosis. So again, the sweet spot is between 8 and 12 reps if you're going to do weight-bearing exercises with, say, machines. You know, we have the machines that go this way or up, or we pull down, you know, that sort of thing. Or if you do free weights, it's the same type of thing. So let's move on. Myth buster number 6. There are certain foods that help with bone growth. And again, I talked about this in another couple of series that I did about foods to eat with osteoporosis. This is true. There are some foods, I call them bone-friendly foods. And I do have a program, and on my program, you actually get a chart of all these bone-friendly foods that you want to incorporate in your diet. Some of them are calcium rich, but some of them are also like K2 rich and vitamin C rich, vitamin A rich, because all of those nutrients play an important role. There's not very many foods that are high in vitamin D, so sometimes we also have to supplement. But there are definitely some foods that will help with the bone growth. Let's move on. Myth number 7. Osteoporosis affects more than 40 million people in the United States and over 200 million worldwide. True or false? This is true. This is not a condition only for women. Some people think osteoporosis is like the old women's disease or old ladies' disease. Here's some statistics. About 25% of all men over the age of 50 will be diagnosed with osteoporosis some point in their life. There is also people less than the age 50 that are diagnosed. This is usually because of either a poor diet, a lack of exercise, or it could be a hormonal imbalance. I'm seeing more and more young women who are diagnosed with osteoporosis, and a lot of times it's because of hormones. Last myth for tonight. The only way I will break or fracture a bone is if I fall. What do you think? True or false? It's actually false. It is important to learn what movements and exercises work to increase bone density and which ones will cause injury, such as a bone fracture. So there are some movements that you either should modify or avoid, and there are some different types of activities that you may have to modify or even avoid. So for instance, take tennis. Tennis seems pretty, not so intense, but actually because of the twisting and the intensity of that twist, what can happen is that you can twist too much, and you could hurt your back, depending on the severity of your osteoporosis. Sometimes twists we have to modify. Another one is golfing. Seems like golfing would be really easy. You're outside, you're carrying your bag, weight bearing exercise, you're walking, nice for that. But because of the swing, and sometimes doing an intense swing with that twisting, it's not necessarily so good for osteoporosis. So this is the 4 myths for tonight that I wanted to talk about. Next week, I'm going to be talking more about movements to avoid, movements to modify, as well as different activities and how you should do them. So for instance, sitting, right? A lot of us, when we're sitting, we have a tendency to pull down here like this. So we want to sit up nice and tall. So I'm going to be talking about those types of activities, those types of movements, and other types of movements that you may need to modify. So that'll be for next week. I always take questions at the end. So if you're live and you've got any questions, this is a good time to come online with me and ask any question about osteoporosis. If I don't know the answer, I will research it for you. Also, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. You will then be notified if you click that little bell when I have new videos, and I do at least 1 video a week. So that's it for tonight, short and sweet. Have a great week, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye-bye.